Welcome to the Strong Casuals podcast. My name is Ben. This is Anthony, and the Cord King Eric is in the corner.
What's up?
We are here today with Brett Hamann, the Wisconsin State champion in arm wrestling. We're going to have a little conversation. How's it going, man?
It's going real good.
Have you been pulling recently, or?
I haven't been pulling in a little while. The last tournament I've been to has been quite a few months. I mean, for sure. I don't even remember the last tournament I've been to. I went to I've been trying to organize all sorts of stuff to go pull, and I was going to go to a big tournament in Tennessee, but I don't think I'm going to now because a lot of the big names that were going to go there backed out and didn't pay in and everything.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a lot of interest because my right arm is pretty decent right now, in my opinion, and I think I'm going to be able to push myself onto the top 15 in the United States pretty soon, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. We agree. So if you don't mind, we'll take a way back machine.
Yeah.
What got you into arm wrestling in the first place?
So first off, I always liked to arm wrestle my whole life. In high school, it was just fun to do with the friends and everything at the lunch table and all that. And after high school, I went to the strongman competition and watched because I didn't really know exactly all about it because I grew up on a farm and everything, so I was strong to begin with.
Yeah.
Never worked out, never did anything.
Was this a local event, like a local strongman event then, just up from?
Yeah, it's a local strongman event.
Because where do you
in northern Wisconsin.
You're in northern Wisconsin. Okay, that's what we thought.
Yeah. I'm as north in Wisconsin as you can get. I'm right on Lake Superior.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I mean that's the thing too about.
So
yeah, continue.
So I went to the strongman event, watched everybody compete, and there was a good amount of big, strong-looking dudes there, and I'm like, hey, which one of you guys are the best arm wrestler? And one of the guys piped up, and he's like, well, everybody pointed at the one guy, and they said, well, he is. And I haven't been beaten arm wrestling in quite a few years. I mean, my whole high school career and everything.
How old were you at the time?
Kids at school.
How old were you at the time of the event, like when you went to the strongman?
I was just out of high school. I was just 18 years old.
Okay.
So I asked this guy, I said, well, would you arm wrestle me? He's like, absolutely. He didn't compete in the event. He was just helping move stuff around and everything, so he wasn't all tired. And we arm wrestled, and it was close, but he beat me. And it lit a fire under me to I was like, man, I wanna pursue this more because like forever, like I was always like, hey, you want to arm wrestle? Hey, you want to arm wrestle? No, I'm just gonna lose, so I don't want to arm wrestle you and all that kind of stuff. So all the local kids and stuff didn't want to arm wrestle. So my wife actually pushed me into it. She was like, hey, if you want to do this, find somewhere to go, find something to do. So we went on Facebook and looked up Wisconsin arm wrestling, and Lee Bonnet came up. So I reached out to Lee and I said, hey, I want to arm wrestle. Where's your next event and everything? And he told me where it was. And I showed up to the event. It was right around 3 years ago, around this time. And I went to the event, and I walked up to Lee and I told him, I said, you don't know how good I am, but neither do I. So should I do the amateurs or should I do the pros? And he said, well, just start off with the amateurs and see how that goes. So I did the amateurs, and there wasn't a lot of guys at the tournament. I think there was 3 guys in my weight class in the amateurs, and I blew through them all pretty easy, which I was very surprised because I was like, I had no technique. It was bar arm wrestling.
Right.
That.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was very happy to do that, and when I was like, well, I'm gonna try the pros then. Why not?
Right.
And there was not a whole lot of guys in that class either. It was like 3 or 4 different guys that weren't in the amateurs, and I ended up winning that too. I did take one loss to one of the guys, right-handed. It took everything I had to beat him, and it was ugly.
Yeah.
But I beat him, and then he came back and beat me in the overalls, I think, because he was a weight class under me too.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my first experience. And I actually, at that tournament, I hurt my left arm because one of the guys in the overalls was very fast. Brian Martinez Bacaladera. I don't know if you heard of him at all.
No.
So his brother Steven is the #1 left hand in Wisconsin technically right now. And Brian was very fast, and he's left-hand specialty and everything, and he hit into me, and I caught him.
Yeah.
But when I caught him, it was like something pinged in my elbow.
Oh, no,
and
yeah.
I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
I still was able to pull him back.
Right.
And beat him. But after that event, I couldn't even lift my left arm.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh, my gosh. I'm like, what did I do?
Right.
And being the farm boy that I am, I didn't go to the hospital.
There
I didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
that.
of course. Were you pulling for those tournaments? Were you pulling left and right arm then? Pulling both arms?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I still do. I want to try to keep it as equal as possible.
No, for sure. Now, so going a little bit back, Lee Bonnet. So that's the thing is like, we're a podcast. We don't really, this is like, we don't know much about the Wisconsin arm wrestling scene at all. So this is kind of like, we look at it every once in a while. We're down in Dane County. So we're way, way south, and there's like nothing. There's no arm wrestling around here. It's all North Wisconsin, at least the northern half. Is mostly seems like where a lot of the tournaments are at the very least. So Lee,
a lot of them are right in the center.
Is that what it is?
Some of them, well, yeah. There's only like 2 of them that are above the center of Wisconsin every year.
Yeah. So like, is Lee in charge of Wisconsin arm wrestling? So like, how?
Yes.
What these tournaments that you went to, were they just a local tournament for that year? And like, did you do the state that year, or like how have things been progressed since those? It's only been 3 years, and that's pretty impressive that you're already ranked first and right.
Yes, has it been 3 years? Because I won. I'm trying to think back.
Yeah, because how long have you been pulling?
It might have been 4 years now, actually.
Okay.
Because I went to, after that tournament, I didn't really take much time off. I just kept going, and my left got better, but it wasn't like all better.
Yeah.
And I went to every single Wisconsin tournament there was, and there's quite a bit of them in Wisconsin. Like there's one almost every other weekend, if not every weekend.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's like Lee Bonnet, he more so like makes it to be a training kind of, so you can get better and go to the bigger, better tournaments and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So how far is that drive for you? I mean, if a lot of those tournaments are, if you're way the hell up there.
Most tournaments for me, if 3 hours plus.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But so if you're the man, Brett, you're gonna fucking show up. So I understand.
Well, I was determined. I was very motivated and everything to. Because the first guy arm wrestled in that first tournament, he was ranked in the United States, and I beat him.
Yeah.
So I was very excited. Like I was like, oh, I have a chance.
Right.
I was like, everybody's not just gonna destroy me and everything. So I was very excited, and I hit every tournament I could possibly make it to, and over that first year, I had to have pulled. I bet you I pulled like 15 tournaments.
Damn. That's actually, that's a lot. And are you pulling heavyweight and like absolute or overall? No. What were you pulling like when you started?
Only supers.
Okay.
I am only super.
Oh, you're only super heavyweight. Okay. Okay.
Yes, I'm 6'5", and I'm about 270 to 290 pounds, anywhere ranging in there.
Yeah, no, from the few pictures we saw, I was like, you look big as shit. And the few matches that we have, like on YouTube, at least, the top one that comes up is you versus Sam Tappert. So like how that was, it looks like that, it was posted in 2022. When was that match? Was that probably in 2022?
That was in 2022. That was our first super match. So our first year, my first year I went to all them tournaments, and I went to state, I went to Wisconsin State and I placed 4th left hand and 3rd right hand.
Okay.
And actually, Pavlo Derbenyev was at that tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to pull him or anything, but he was there, and he took 1st, right, and I think left.
And so who's Pablo to us? So once again, we're not familiar with the local scene. Is he a local guy?
Pablo
or
is pretty big now.
I mean, there's
He's
so
from-
many.
We've talked.
Have we talked about? Our problem is we watch a lot of professional arm wrestling, but everybody's got the same name, and it pisses the hell out of me. Everybody, there's like 36 Pavlos. You know, it's like so. But that's cool. So he was at our state or just like a regular tournament?
It was Wisconsin State.
Anybody, that's like an open, then I'm assuming. Anybody can.
Yeah, anybody can go there.
Okay.
And he was there. I didn't get to pull him. I pulled Andrew Bergansky. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's a sleeper from Minnesota. Like right now he's not good because he got in like a real bad back injury a couple years ago. But for a long time he was very good. Like he was the number 1 in Minnesota for years. Right arm.
Okay.
And he was there, and Chris Gellings was there, and just all sorts of like local-ish. I mean, Minnesota, Illinois, some Wisconsin, and so I was very happy. I placed that place where I placed, and I was like, "Oh, next year I come back here, I'm gonna win."
Yeah.
I said, "I don't care." I said, "I'm gonna win," because everybody I got to arm wrestle, nobody just like ran through me like I wasn't there. And by that time, I mean, I was getting better, but I didn't train. I just went to arm wrestling tournaments.
Yeah.
So I didn't learn. I mean, I by then I started working out because after I watched that strongman, and arm wrestled that guy, I actually started working out with them guys.
Oh, really?
And so I pursued strength for a while, and then worked out and did a couple strongman competitions even back then. And I didn't really go to any like big ones or anything. I went to one down in Madison.
Did you? Okay.
That was the biggest one, but there wasn't a whole lot of guys there. But I placed pretty high in it, even though at that time for strongman I was heavyweight.
Yeah.
Because I was 270. I was like 265 or 270 at the time, and but there wasn't enough. There was only like 4 guys in my weight class. They're like, well, we want more guys that go against each other, so they put this heavyweights and the super heavyweights against each other, and
it's kind of a bold move.
So that's
it's
I took third in that tournament, that strongman tournament.
That rules.
So I was happy.
Yeah,
I beat some of the super heavyweight guys and all that, so I was really happy. And I mean, some of them guys that were there, or one of the guys that was, I don't remember his name, but he said he competed against Brian Shaw before.
Oh wow! What do you
in a truck pull?
Oh God! I know. I wish there was. I mean, that he probably. Yeah. I mean, that's incredible that you even get to face Brian. Like you said, just being at the show with Brian.
Pavlo's nice to meet. I mean,
it's cool,
dude. Pavlo's pulled like Michael and
I'm just
Devin.
Okay, I'm a piece of shit for not remembering Pavlo. I mean, he's pulled probably 1,000 times right in front of my goddamn face, and you can't tell. I'm just like, I'm sorry. There's been 7 Pavlos.
He pulled this guy. His last name is Berzink. I don't know if you ever heard that guy.
I've heard of him. I've heard of John Berzink a little bit, but what we'll get into like, what do you like or dislike about strongman? Why did you leave strongman to? I mean, obviously you love arm wrestling, I can tell, but like, why did you? Is it because you didn't love strongman, or it was like you were trying to get into arm wrestling via strongman?
So I mean, I always liked I like strongman. I like picking up heavy stuff.
Yeah.
So that was always great. And I mean, I pushed myself to like, I felt like my limits were, for some of my stuff, like how far I wanted to go was met. As I got a 600-pound squat and 635-pound deadlift and a 455-pound bench. So I was like,
"You're doing all right, Brett. You're doing all right."
Those are okay.
That's pretty okay. Those are pretty good numbers.
Yeah. So I was like, for squat and deadlift and stuff, I kept hurting myself on deadlift. Like I'd get little strains and stuff. So I was like, I was starting to transition to arm wrestling more and more, and I was like, well, I still train it and everything, but I'm not going to try to push myself that much on that, because I want my arms to get stronger. I want my core to get stronger and stuff like that at the same time, and not keep having these injuries over and over again.
Yeah.
So because I'm not taking any kind of gear or anything like that, and I'm not going.
That was going to be our first question.
Because-
How much gear is Brett on?
No, I'm just kidding. Grab a day, boys. Grab
Come
a
on.
day.
Yeah, I've been accused. I've been accused.
I mean, you sound
Yeah,
big
it's-
as shit, Brett. I'd be like, yeah, this guy needs to relax. Okay, he's clearly on all the gear. He's taking out everybody. This is pissing me off. But no, I mean, we've been around plenty. I mean, everybody down here is fucking tiny, but we've been around farm boys. Okay, I know where farm boy strength comes from, and
Yeah.
the fact that you were blessed being 6'5" and a giant human, that just works out perfectly. I mean, in arm wrestling,
yeah, it works.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
I mean, I still love strongman and everything. And we have a local thing. It's called Strongest Man on the Bay,
Okay.
and it
That
happens every
rules.
year. And I'll still compete in that every once in a while. I've won that 3 times in a row. So,
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'll go watch it regardless and go help and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's
so.
super cool. Yeah, I mean, strongman is still strongman.
Yeah,
it's still a good time.
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, deadlift causes injuries. It's just like every single event. Every time you see somebody pulling deadlift, there's
Well, and,
something
I mean,
going on.
In recent history, deadlifts have been kind of a divisive issue, whether or not
Yeah, I mean, there's always,
Obi made some unfortunate remarks like a couple years ago about that. But so you were talking about how initially going to the events was kind of your training at the beginning. Do you have sort of a training regimen now that you do, or are you still a competition kind of
So
training?
after my first year, I built my own arm wrestling. I built my own arm wrestling tables. I built 3 of them. Gave one of them to one of my friends, and I got the other 2. And I built pulley systems, and I built all that stuff because I built everything I thought I needed and everything. And then I started. I reached out to these guys in northern Minnesota, and I started going to train with them once a week or once every other week, which was a 2.5-hour drive for me just for training.
Damn.
But I trained with those guys after my first year, and I've only went up from there. And I still train with those same guys. And one of them is, I don't know if he's nationally ranked right now, but he has been nationally ranked before. His name is Denon Perrin, and a lot of them guys are just they help build me to where I am right now. So,
Sweet.
I mean, I don't. One guy that I really wish would train with us more is Jake Wessel. He's a monster he lives right on the border of Wisconsin and Minnesota. And he's a freaking monster.
Another super heavyweight that have you pulled him before, I'm assuming?
No, he's not.
He's not.
He's a heavyweight. And he wants to go after the 95 kilogram class. He used to be a super heavyweight guy, but he lost a bunch of weight, and he's still just as strong.
Oh, that's always so scary.
Sounds like Devin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
sounds like a little Devin Larratt situation, but yeah,
he is super strong.
Why doesn't he want to come train with you guys? He has a different group that he trains with,
just
or
doesn't work out for him. He's a real busy guy, and he's doing a lot of college stuff and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, so
he's just busy.
What so I mean, why specific so then you obviously got started into you like organizing events too. So yeah, what is why when is the actual last time you pulled? What is it seems like these rankings come out every year. They'll be like, this guy's ranked. You're like, but it's Wisconsin. We aren't don't up.
Let me check real quick.
Yeah. Cause well, that's the thing too. It's I mean, if I had to drive 3 hours every single time.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this before. I mean, the regional, trying to find a place to go and people that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Is difficult to do.
Oh, so the last time,
No, continue, buddy.
Oh,
the last time I competed, I had a super match right hand with Uncle John.
Uncle
John Thompson.
I gotta look up Uncle John right now because so when was this? How long ago was that then?
This was 2 months ago. No, a month ago.
Jesus,
It was
Brett.
in October.
So it wasn't a tournament. You just pulled him. It was just an exhibition match, or was?
Yeah, this was just a best of 5.
Now, how often are you doing something like that? Just orchestrating a pull with a singular guy, or did you pull other times?
It was
that
at
day?
an event.
Okay,
It was at a Minnesota event. Yeah, it was at it's a mega. They call it a mega practice.
Okay.
Minnesota mega practice.
So I mean, you're still out there. You're still pulling.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm trying to stay as active as I can.
Yeah.
And I mean, the last Wisconsin tournament I pulled was Wisconsin State
Okay.
this year.
And how was that? How does we ourselves? We need to just come to a Wisconsin State arm wrestling. I would just, we want to see like how does that thing run? How many people are in like your bracket? Are you pulling, overall like super heavyweight? Is there a higher thing than that, or how's it go down?
So it's I think it's regular rules, like it's done by kilograms and everything.
Mm-hmm.
If you look on Wisconsin arm wrestling, it tells you what it based off of, like the weight classes and everything.
Yeah.
It just goes to super heavyweight, which is 232 plus.
Right. Okay.
And so last year for me was pretty easy for Wisconsin.
Like this year,
the state. This year, the last one, yeah.
Yeah. So how many people are
like
in your weight for that?
I think there was like 8 to 10
Okay, so that's pretty good.
each arm, and most of them were Wisconsin guys, and I think there was a few out of state Minnesota guys and stuff. But it was pretty easy for me, and not even to try to be a freaking
no. It's from
like
your
that or
face. You
whatever,
seem
but
dead serious. It seems like it was pretty easy, and like that's at right or both arms.
Both arms.
Oh man.
And because the first one I went to, obviously I didn't win, and the second it's the second three, the last three I went to, I won.
Damn. On right and left,
and
or just right?
Yes.
Oh Jesus.
Right and left.
Well. So then.
And not the last one, but the two before that were pretty difficult. Like it was just like it was down to the wire. Nobody knew who was gonna win. Like it was up for grabs, and
right.
I just happened to come up with the W. But the last one, I was very confident, and nobody really put up a fight.
Is that because you're pushing, like your level is just getting that much better, or is it because nobody's showing, or it's all the same guys showing, and you're just that much better after that 1 year? After
I have a guy that I usually gauge. I used to gauge myself off of, that was at that first tournament I went to,
mm-hmm.
and gauged off of that. I'm a lot better than I used to be.
Yeah.
Like a very large amount better.
So when you came into the arm wrestling community, one thing we often talk about is like, it seems it's a good community to be a part of, we think. So like, have you also experienced the sort of like welcoming nature that arm wrestling has around it?
I think I can't even like think of one guy that has been a super like a-hole or
mm-hmm.
anything. Like everybody is so nice, and like everybody wants to teach you and tell you how to get better or what you did good or everything. Like everybody has been so like nice, and it's been a really great, like the first time. I mean, like, yeah, everybody's trying to get their advantages in the setup and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, like afterwards, everybody's so nice, and like it's like a big Wisconsin arm wrestling is like a big family. That's everybody awesome. Knows everybody, and it's really a great community, and I'm happy to be part of it.
No, that rules. Wisconsin Absolutely. Arm wrestling, do they work a lot with like Minnesota arm wrestling, or like is Minnesota part of the community, or who's a better community?
So yes and no. I mean, like, so some of the Minnesota guys, like there's guys over there that are really good refs, and they'll come over here and ref our Wisconsin State and stuff like that. And yeah, they work hand in hand and like make sure like they try not to do overlap events and stuff and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, they're nice to each other, and they're trying to work together and everything.
Who has the higher quality pullers, you think? Who's better? Who's better, the Minnesota super heavyweights or Brett Hamann of Wisconsin?
So Uncle John, he was the #1 ranked super heavyweight in Minnesota.
Okay.
and it wasn't close. I destroyed him. It was not close. And he's number one ranked left-handed, but Uncle John's, everybody knows Uncle John's left is way better than his right.
Okay.
And I wanted his left hand, but he will not pull me left-handed unless I pay him to.
That's crazy.
Or somebody pays him.
That's freaking crazy.
Because he just beat some famous guy, I guess, left-handed. I don't remember who it was.
So now he's like, pay me for this left hand.
Literally, if you watch the live stream of that, because there was a live stream of that event.
Okay.
I called him out at the end of it because they said, "Who do you want for your next match?" And I said, "I want Uncle John left-handed."
Yeah.
And he literally said, "Pay me," and gave the whole crowd the middle finger. So
that's fucking crazy.
So yeah, that's Uncle John.
That's so funny. Is he? How old are you, Brett? By chance?
I'm 27.
Damn, you're young. You're a young man. You're twice the man that I am, but you're still younger than I am. That's okay. I'm assuming Uncle John's an older guy.
Yeah, I think he's like early 40s. Early 40s.
So he's been doing it a while anyway.
Yeah, you ever watch Beer Man?
No, why?
From Canada?
I have, yeah. Because is Uncle John? Is he originally Canadian, John?
No, so originally he was from Minnesota, and then he moved to Canada.
Okay, that's what it was.
And now he's back in Minnesota.
Is he Beer Man? He is Beer Man?
Yeah.
He's not Beer Man, but they used to have a podcast that said Beers with Bad Company.
Okay.
And he would go on there all the time back then, but now they hate each other. So
that's hilarious.
That's not.
Yeah. It's no good. There's trouble in Little City. We gonna do. What is, in your opinion, what's the difference between? Do you follow like professional arm wrestling?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That makes sense.
I'm a nut.
Yeah. Okay. So do you? I mean, what is in your opinion? What is the difference? Like, even if it's little things, the difference between the regional scene, a local scene, and like the professional arm wrestling scene. I mean, Brett, if you've been ranked, I mean, obviously, I don't know what the Midwest rankings are, but I mean, I don't know if you've pulled people from Indiana, Iowa, stuff like that. But I mean, what does it take for somebody like you to like get to these bigger tournaments? If exposure obviously is huge, but like, I mean, you got the ability at least to get out there to some of these bigger tournaments.
So I mean, I have to go to them a lot more bigger tournaments, but I like personally, I like super matches better.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to actually get big super matches lined up and stuff. I've in the works trying to get Tim Bresnan to pull me right-handed.
Oh, that's rules.
And trying to work it out, but I don't know if it's going to happen where I want it to happen because he's in Tennessee and the event I'm trying to get him to come to is by the cities in Minnesota. So It's like a 15-hour drive for him, but I told the promoters, I said, I will have a sponsor and I'll get him paid whatever he wants, unless it's kind of excessive. But
that would be incredible. That would be so dope.
Yeah.
Like, what's the biggest event like the Midwest puts on? Like, what's the biggest tournament you've personally been to?
Well, the biggest tournament I've been to is the Strongest Badge in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
And that's the biggest one I've been to.
Mm-hmm.
And that one for me really sucked because I went to Minnesota State. I think it was 2 months before that, and I destroyed my right arm.
Oh no.
My right wrist. So Wallace Dilly, I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's nationally ranked right now. I think he's like 12th or something out of the top 15 or whatever.
Okay.
And he was there had a super match with Andrew Bragansky right hand. And he was there, and I was very excited to pull him. And I got one win on him left-handed, and then he came back and beat me. And then right-handed, I went to press him, and then the ref said that my shoulder went over the center line, which I don't think it did, because he was behind me and not even like watching what was going on. He just said foul.
Piece of shit.
So one of my partners was like, hey, try to go out in the strap and try to slip with him. So I did, and while I was going out, he latched on my fingers.
Oh no.
And so I just was like, all right, screw it. I'm gonna dead wrist press this guy and try to still get to the strap. Well, he held on for like dear life.
Oh, no.
And I hyperextended my wrist backwards.
Ugh.
So my wrist was messed up. And then, so like my wrist was messed up. Like I had no pronation. My cup was terrible.
Oh no.
Like everything hurt. Like I couldn't bench press or anything, any weight like this way.
Yeah.
Just hurt so bad. And like I'm an idiot and I didn't want to go get it checked out. I was like, it'll just get better.
That's what Wisconsin people do. That's what we do.
So I already paid for the hotel and I already paid in at the event and I already paid everything. So I was like, I'm still going.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I was like, I can't top because I was primarily a top roller. So I couldn't train top roll or anything like that. So I was like, well, I'm going to try to press because that doesn't really hurt. That kind of downward pressure like that didn't hurt. So I trained press and I trained the living crap out of my left arm. And in a practice, I think I ended up hurting my left elbow somehow, which sucked. So it was the old double whammy.
Yeah.
I was kind of injured going into that, but I developed somewhat of a press with my right. So I was like, well, I'm going to give it the best I got. My wrist was feeling kind of better, and my left elbow didn't hurt anymore. It was by the time the tournament came around. So I was like, well, I'm just going to give it everything I got. So I went to that. And the only big name there, which I'm not a big fan of anymore because of stuff that's come out about him, but was Austin Jagers.
Oh, I
don't know if
you recognize that name.
Guys
for sure.
Heard about him?
No, I'm gonna look him up.
Not much.
No. How big was that? How big was this event in like comparison?
It was. I think there was 300 people there.
Damn. Okay.
It was a big event, and I mean, in my class, I think I had like 15 to 20 people per arm.
Oh, that's great. I mean, especially coming from Wisconsin with our, the stuff that we have. Oh, I've definitely seen this guy. Yeah, I've seen him pull. Yeah, Derek Smith online.
Yeah.
He doesn't look necessarily like a good guy, but
he's not a good person.
Yeah, that sounds right. But yeah, so how'd you do?
So I pulled him. I think I pulled him both right and left arm, and he beat me. Right, I couldn't pronate or anything, so I tried to press, and he loaded way too hard for me to try to engage in a press at all. So that didn't work. And I think I took in right arm. I took fourth. Yeah, I took fourth right arm. I beat some guys that are really good, but I don't remember their names. One guy, he won world seniors in the super heavyweights before. And left-handed, I pulled Austin Jagers again, and I stopped him outside with hand control, but I couldn't go any farther. So I tried to go inside, and when I transferred from top roll to hook, my elbow just went bang.
No.
And I was like, that didn't feel good. And then he just put me down, and I'm like, oh, wow. And so I still ended up taking third left-handed and fourth right-handed there.
You still just kept pulling. You're just like,
I still did.
Just like, I heard it pop. I don't give a fuck. You came all the way. I mean, what are we gonna do? I mean, come on.
Well, yeah. And I was so mad because everybody was after pulling and stuff, and I couldn't after pull.
Yeah.
I could not. I couldn't do anything because everything just hurt.
Well, and I mean, you pressed through right arm is incredible that you even made it that far on right, and then I
think it's that Caleb Armbender. He's small guy with the dreads and stuff.
Yes.
And he's a lightweight guy, like 154 class, I think. And he's like, I want to pull you right. I want to pull you right. And I'm like, I can't pull you right. And he's like, come on, let's just put the strap on and whatever. And I'm like, sure. that he could crack my wrist so easy
Oh,
because it just hurt so bad.
no.
Yikes.
And I was like, just go on a hook with me once.
Yeah,
and he's
exactly.
like, I can't hook. And I'm like, well, that's the only place I can do anything with you right
You're
now.
like, don't make me look
Right.
like an idiot right now with a broken arm.
Yeah.
Like, this is unfair. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so that was my only like big tournament I've been to, and it was terrible because I was injured. I was injured bad. I
Yeah.
was messed up. But I mean,
Yeah.
everybody who beat me, whatever. I mean, I did everything I could. So
Yeah. Is that why you don't like tournaments? You prefer super matches because of just like the longevity of a tournament? Or
yeah, like at most tournaments I go to, it's just like I'm a very like I get so excited. I'm like a little kid.
yeah.
I'm so excited to be there. I'm so excited to get to pull and everything. But then it's like, well, you got to pull now, and then you got to wait, and then you got to
Yeah.
pull, and then you got to wait.
Yeah.
And I just like
Yeah.
I like it when I can pull and then be done, or like I know exactly when I'm gonna pull or whatever. And like I don't know. And I like the aspect where like if you don't succeed the first time, you can try again.
Yeah.
So like the best of 5 and all that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So we usually we're focused on some of the bigger events like East vs. West and King of the Table and all that jazz. And assuming, as you stated, you've been watching stuff, we talk a lot about Devin Larratt because it's hard to not, I guess, talk about Devin Larratt. But so we oftentimes talk about how there's sort of two sides to arm wrestling. There's kind of like the actual technical arm wrestling, and then in the pro scene there seems to be this sort of additional thing, which is the character or the sort of like the you know, the smoke and mirrors of who these guys are. So I just want to pick your brain on how you feel about those two things, like, you know, people kind of putting on a show or being a part of. Is that something you're pro, or are you more sort of a technical?
Right. Are there
technical
people
guy?
like that in the local scene, like peacocks who like?
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's awesome.
There's a few guys. Well, one of the biggest characters in Wisconsin, if you ask anybody, is Henry Gold, or 24 Karat they call him.
Oh, that's so freaking funny. That's his nickname.
He is one of the funniest characters to like arm wrestle and talk to. He's such a funny dude. If you seen him at a tournament, you would know it was him instantly.
Yeah.
He dresses in all gold.
Oh my god.
Attaboy.
And he carries him. He's got his gold like flask with him. He's got a gold boom box. He takes his character all the way.
That makes me so happy.
Like if you ever,
That's amazing.
It is.
and like you look him up on Facebook, you look up Henry Moses, and he is.
This is.
He's hilarious.
That's so funny. So
He's an awesome. He's so nice too, though.
well, that's the thing too.
But
It's
on
like
the table, he just.
yeah, that's the thing.
Go
It's like
on.
there's the character of the human being, and then it's like, but like on the table, as long as they're not a piece of shit, I imagine, there's no problem with characters, you know, and that's why.
Oh, there's no problem.
I think that's why Devin's so polarizing, because he keeps riding the line so hard.
Oh yeah,
Where you're
Devin is a problem.
It's becoming a problem, and you're like,
Yes.
everybody's watching. Oh my God, Henry Gold. That man is a moneymaker. That is incredible.
Yeah,
that is incredible.
Oh yeah,
It's so good.
literally, I shit you not. He like hands out little gold pieces at his tournaments and stuff. I have one in my closet over there.
You gotta. I mean, come
Nice.
on. That's a piece of local arm wrestling history. He's not
It
going to be
is,
around
100%.
forever. That's so awesome.
Like it was those little Bitcoins. That's what it was. Those little Bitcoins he was handing out.
If only it was worth the real one Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he really be made of
my
gold.
Yeah, we're always talking about how to grow the sport, and we know that things like those characters like grow the sport because, you know, those things get put on social media, they go viral, and people see all the videos of like, you know, Devin doing whatever nonsense. But you know, we're trying to we always kind of ride the line between is this okay or is this becoming is this degrading?
It's like if you
a
watched
sport that we like.
Yeah.
if you've watched our episodes, like as we progress, like you love Devin Larratt. You gotta. I mean, he's making arm wrestling what it is. But I mean, as time is passing, the man is slowly losing touch with reality. It seems like, and it's like the whole Morozov stunt in the last event. You're just like, what are we doing here? Well, also, you don't want to see him.
Well, yeah, and like the one before that, he got tackled and all that crap.
Dude, I
Yeah, we
couldn't
talked-
stop talking about the BJJ. He was literally doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm like, what the
Or just
fuck
like
is happening?
putting someone in a headlock, and
He's like, he started it. We're like, okay, well, this isn't fucking recess, Devin. We know he started it.
Yeah.
Don't continue, for Christ's sakes. It's like we want, and that's the thing too, is it's like, if he's still putting out performances, I mean, he fucking stonewalls Petrenko, and you're like, Jesus.
Yeah, that was insane.
I mean,
I couldn't believe it.
Oh, we're so hyped for the match, and you're just like,
but then he just plays with him. I mean, I don't like it. It's
we don't know what to say either with stuff like that, where it's like, I love watching Devin do his thing, but if you're literally stonewall dominating, I mean, I don't want to see you hold him. That's not. It's cool when Levon holds anybody. I mean, but that's Levon, but like you don't just if you want to show your dominance against somebody like Petrenko is his stats already do enough. He's incredible as shit. So just smash him, get it over with.
I think it's a different world too, because back when Wall was like when we were watching all the Wall stuff, and he was up against guys that was like, this is legitimately a match. Like this could go one way or the other, and so he's getting in people's heads, and it's all strategy. You know? He's playing, and nowadays it's like, once Levon beat him, great, but outside of that, he's been
unbeatable,
the man, and so. It's like, do we? I don't know if he's convinced the mind games are just like a part of who he is, like, or can he just go in and pull and be done? Like, or does he require all this other, I don't know, dancing to?
I don't know. We've seen him pull. The guy doesn't need all the dancing. Obviously, he can just put his performances out there, and it speaks volumes. It's becoming too much at this point. Just pull Vitali.
Probably.
Meanwhile, Brett gives me Midwest Vitali. You give me Vitali vibes, Brett. You fucking...
Yeah.
You sound like a goddamn monster. Vitali's a monster. But, I think we all want to see Vitali versus Devin. Let's be honest. We do. Even though Vitali's up at super heavyweight still, and Devin came down. It's... After he beat Petrenko at heavyweight, you're like, I don't care about him at heavyweight anymore. That's, the toughest guy. It's like... Just go back up, man. What are we doing?
Well, we've seen. I mean, you were talking about that earlier. So a lot of times, guys will come down and weight, and they know it's not like they lose a ton of strength. I mean, they're coming down and weight, but technique's still there, strength is still there, and they can do some mean things at those lower weight classes.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to do you see yourself, Brett? Would you love to like the Challenger Series that they brought to Orlando? Would you love to be involved with something like that? Like, are you trying to get? What are you nationally ranked? And are you trying to pull on that national level?
In the next year or two, I am definitely gonna go for all those bigger tournaments and all those all that stuff. I'm going for it all.
Yeah.
Next year, I want to go to nationals and compete there and see what I can do there, and I want to keep pushing. I think it's time. Like, my right arm is ready.
Yeah.
My left arm is a little behind, just because my right arm advanced a lot since I think it was actually partially because of my injury.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got with my right wrist, and I've developed a lot of different. I'm like a Swiss Army knife. I can pull pretty much any way.
Yeah. Right
arm. And I feel strong, and I feel like I can hang with nobody. I feel like nobody's gonna beat me unless they're well known around the United States.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's, all you need, right? Is if you're as good as you are right now, I think some of those matches against those top ranked guys in the nation is exactly what you need. You want some competition. Mm-hmm. You're obviously, if you're not going to some of these tournaments because, well, these are the same guys I've pulled for 6 years and just destroyed. So it's that big competition obviously is what you would need. But I mean, that'd be super exciting because them bringing the Challenger Series over to America that's huge. You think that should theoretically set a precedent for some of these bigger tournaments, obviously arm wrestling. Have you seen local arm wrestling grow in the 4 years you've been involved?
Yes, it's definitely gotten bigger. This last state I went to, I showed up there and there was probably twice as many amateur pullers as there was any other year I've ever been there.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was blown away because I'm like, there is so many people here and a lot of big dudes. I'm excited. And then I was like, I bet you a lot of them are amateurs because I've never seen them before.
Go pull them. Go pull all the amateurs, Brett. Show them what the. Show them who the hell you
I was
are.
thinking about it.
Yes. Where do they put that on?
No, I after pulled a lot at that tournament.
Yeah.
And because a lot of people there knew me, like I didn't know who they were, and they're like, "Oh, you're Brett Hamann. You're
the
number one
guy.
ranked in Wisconsin." I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." And they're like, "I'm a big fan," and I'm like, "Oh, this is weird."
Oh shit. Brett's famous.
That's what you know, man.
Dude.
You've done it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the scene isn't, obviously it's bigger, but it's not huge. So it's like within the scene, Brett, I'm sure you're the fucking king, okay? It's all it takes is just your name in the rankings on the Wisconsin Armor. That's literally all it takes, and especially for those amateurs, for guys who are coming, like you said, the scene is so niche and it's so tight. A super heavyweight amateur guy, I'm sure, would be stoked as shit to pull you out in the after pulls. Like I'm sure he, and you just don't like Ben and I. We don't pull at all. We just love arm wrestling. We literally just love arm wrestling. We would love to.
I mean, we would like to, but
Yeah.
like we're like it's a similar situation. Basically, the closest thing to us would be like at least an hour south like every couple weeks or something. And
we need Ben to just make tables like you did. That's what we're trying.
should.
I'm trying to get him to fucking do. How did you? I mean, you're a handy. You've been working on a farm, so did you literally spec out and buy like stuff for the table, or did you? Please tell me you just farmhouse made tables.
I went stuff I had laying around, and then I went to the Chicago Iron where they sell steel, and I just bought pieces.
Oh,
and,
of course.
built it and upholstered the pads and all that stuff. And
That's so awesome. Do you still use those tables to this day?
Oh yeah, I have 2 of them up in my garage, and whenever I host a practice at my place, that's what we use.
That rules. Do you have like a group of local fellas that like you pull with?
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, I have those guys in northern Minnesota, and then I have a couple guys from Wisconsin that come up and pull with me. And usually when we're getting prepped for a tournament or someone's prepping for a super match, every other week we pull either here or in Minnesota.
Okay. Yeah, but is there anybody like immediately local to you or no? Everybody travels.
I have a buddy of mine that's probably like 40 minutes away.
And
that's the closest.
You probably just beat the shit out of him, don't you, Brett? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You just beat the piss out of him, and it's like, I drove 40 minutes for this? Are you fucking kidding me? This is insane.
We're really good friends, and I mean he's a lighter weight class than me. Yeah. And whenever we do arm wrestle, we use bands till I get wore out.
Yeah.
And we pull together.
No, I'm sure that training is incredible for him. I'm sure do you guys go to all the tournaments?
I mean, it's good for me too. Some of my best trainings I've ever had was with him.
Yeah. Well, you know each other too. I'm sure that's always super helpful.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy.
Does he come to tournaments and stuff with you as well? Like, do you try to take? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. He's actually got a super match coming up against Lee Bonnet left-handed.
Nice.
Now, who's Lee Bonnet in like in the community?
He runs.
He runs. I know he runs Wisconsin arm wrestling, right? But he's a puller. He pulls as well. Like currently, still.
He back when he was my age, he was the shit back in Wisconsin. Like he was. Everybody tells me stories about Lee Bonnet back in the day. Like he was the guy. And I mean, he's still pretty good. I mean, he is old and injured and everything. So, but he's still strong. And I like to pull with him sometimes because I mean, he's a good gauge also for me because he's very strong and he's
those old men. They got those arms. It's got
in my opinion. In my opinion, Lee Bonnet is like the gatekeeper.
Okay, that makes sense.
If you can beat Lee Bonnet in Wisconsin, you're doing pretty good.
That rules. And I mean, you can be humble. Do you beat Lee? You beat him pretty easily, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. We're not close. We're not close.
I'm not gonna say it on tape that I mess him up, but I mess him up.
Yeah.
What? Here, let's get into some specific questions. We had some basic questions, but like. Speaking, I mean, who has been the toughest person you've ever pulled? Like, your toughest match ever?
Like, toughest match as in like they beat me the easiest, or toughest match is like we were the closest?
I guess like who's like the strongest guy you've ever pulled? Like who do you, in your opinion, and like when you were probably at your more peak, then
I guess.
Nobody can beat this guy, Ben. Nobody beats
No,
Brett.
they
You
can't.
can't even
They
think
can't.
about it.
So no, it's probably Wallace Dilly.
Okay. I need
Wallace
to know this
Dilly,
guy.
because he's won a East versus West Challenger series in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I know this guy's name 100%.
Yeah, we talked about
Everybody's got a funky name. Also,
He's a mean dude. Yeah.
Yeah, he is a badass dude. I just practiced with him a few months ago in Minnesota. He came up. His parents live up there or something, or got a cabin or something. And he came and pulled with us, and we practiced. And we're really close. Me and him are. So
awesome.
Right and left arm. I think I'm, because when I pulled him left arm, my wrist was a little messed up. So we were still really close. So I think I'm a little better than him lefty, and we're really close righty. Like statically, I think he's stronger than me, but in a ready go, I think personally, I feel I could win. I could beat him.
He's out of Nebraska.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I do remember this guy. Yeah, so then you're orchestrating stuff too. Are you trying to put together you're the guy you should put, some big Wisconsin. Well, we don't have that many people, I guess it sounds like, but are you putting together events here in Wisconsin or elsewhere?
No, I don't have to put events together because Lee, I'll like tell everybody to go to Wisconsin tournaments.
Yeah.
Because Lee puts on so many and stuff. Like he is the primary tournament putter honor guy, organizer in Wisconsin.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So I don't really need to. Like, I'm the reason that there is one up towards me because I asked him to.
Yeah.
And I'll hit that one up every once in a while. Like if it's before I go to a big tournament or before a super match, just to get some ready goes and stuff. Because why not?
Why not?
Anytime.
I'm assuming anytime there's a tournament around you, why the hell would you not go?
So if you have, because a lot of us don't have, or a lot of people don't have sort of a direct access to like someone to, I don't know, teach them. Do you have any pointers on how you think somebody could get into the sport without much guidance?
Yeah.
It really helps. Go to the gym. That's the biggest thing. Go to the gym, get strong everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything so many things transfer over to arm wrestling, in my opinion.
Sure.
Strongman is definitely one of them, in my opinion. Obviously, the holding on to stuff, not so much because you don't want your wrist back, but stones and deadlift and all that kind of stuff, I feel like is very helpful. And, get a band. Work your pronation, work your cup, work all that stuff. Because I was watching every YouTube video I could find, trying to try to do a little exercise, try this on a table at a tournament and all that kind of stuff. So there's so many ways you can get access to ways to train and techniques to watch and try and all that kind of stuff. And
for sure,
it's getting to be more and more as we go on. You can literally order an arm wrestling table off of Walmart.com.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, dude. That is kind of crazy.
It's awesome.
I don't know how good of quality it is, but if it's at least 125.
I've heard it's not bad.
Really? That's hilarious.
I've heard it's not bad.
I bet it's, Walmart, they put out everything.
It's not Temu, so it's okay.
They definitely is a Temu table.
Guy,
definitely a Temu table somewhere.
Steve Baldwin in Wisconsin, he actually builds arm wrestling tables and sells them.
Oh, really?
He has his own business.
Oh, really? His own table business in Wisconsin. Support local. Come on.
Yeah.
Steve Baldwin. You know what it is.
So if you look up Steve Baldwin on Facebook, I think you'll find it on there.
Does he use all the? Does he bring all the tables for events and stuff? Are those the tables that are used at events? I'm assuming.
Yeah. We use all Steve Baldwin tables.
Oh, the actor Stephen Baldwin came up when I looked up Steve Baldwin, but I'll get to the other
Imagine that. Imagine that.
The wrong Steve
But yeah,
Baldwin.
he'll customize. You can order custom tables from him, and like he builds like arm wrestling workout equipment and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's awesome that we have somebody local that does that.
Yeah, but he pulled too. I mean, he was I feel like I know. Do I know that name?
Oh yeah, he definitely pulls.
Yeah, but like I think he might have been back in the Wall days, like the
WAL baby.
Yeah, he was really good back in the day.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, sweet.
Oh yeah, no, totally. And damn, this guy's arms are massive.
It sounds like we should actually start arm wrestling instead of just watching.
You should.
We need to talk to Steve Baldwin.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, no, it's we love everything about it.
Yeah, we spend our time talking about arm wrestling and strongman 50-50, and we do neither of them, so we should probably
Dude, we're casuals, dude.
Things. I know that's what we are. We are the casuals. But.
We are arm wrestling my dreams. Do you still practice strongman, Brett? Like train anything strongman?
Not so much anymore. I mean, I every once in a while, if I'm at the gym, whatever, I'll do log or I'll do just random strongman stuff. I own 1,000-pound tire and all that kind of stuff like that. So
that makes sense.
I'll do it every once in a while, but I mean, I primarily I'll still do my squat, bench, deadlift, and curls and all my random arm wrestling stuff in the gym that people look at you weird for.
They just don't know. They just don't understand.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Anytime somebody.
But I mean, I have my own, like, I have an actual machine I bought and modified for my own use now at home.
Oh, really?
Which I literally just broke this week.
Oh,
you're too strong, Brett.
It was actually on a PR, so.
Damn.
The cable.
It's a cable machine. Is that what you're using?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have no idea what the actual weight is. So.
And after you broke it, nobody will.
Okay.
No.
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 I'll fix it.
Yeah.
I'll fix it this weekend.
I mean, is it? So like, obviously, it's a hobby. I'm assuming like, how much of your time in your life do you put aside for arm wrestling? You seem like you work all the time too. I'm assuming, Brett.
Yeah. I'm full-time diesel mechanic.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So I every other Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I wake up at 4:30 in the morning and I train for an hour.
That's what it takes, Brett. Okay, so a morning session, do you even do it? How long is your shift? Like,
I work 7 to 4:30. And then usually after work, I'll go to the gym for an hour or two.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Got to put in the time.
Yeah, yeah.
He's putting it in.
It's
yeah.
I'm changing. I don't know. My mind's going 1,000 directions. We were talking about, because you're saying cable machines. It reminded me of Brian Shaw showing all of his stuff. So we have obviously Levon sitting at the top, and everybody's talking about who's going to beat him. And there's a whole bunch of guys that seem to be entering in the world of arm wrestling that maybe didn't cut their teeth in the world, like Brian Shaw and now Hafthor and Eddie are gonna go up against each other on the next. Is it? Yeah, no,
Brian and Eddie.
No, it's Brian and Eddie.
Oh, Brian and Eddie. Yeah. That was the boxing match.
No, we don't. Hafthor arm wrestling does not need to happen. He's doing just fine in strongman. He's doing just fine in strongman.
Yeah, he kind of screwed up that one thing at Rogue, but
yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
So Brian and Eddie, I mean, they're going to be. Do you think that that's a positive thing for the sport to see some crossover, or you think it's a hokey kind of thing?
So for arm wrestlers, no, I think it's kind of dumb.
Yeah,
but
we're there with you.
I wish Brian would have. I wish Brian would have arm wrestled if he was going to arm wrestle somebody that's not like high ranked, but well known. Yeah. But I mean, because I don't think he's quite ready for that yet. No, because I mean, especially someone who's strong, like really high strength, super heavyweight in the United States or anywhere else, even he's not his tendons and everything. I don't feel like he's ready for that.
Yeah.
Which maybe I'm wrong, but I think he should wait like a year. and then start doing that. I mean, I love what he's doing, going around arm wrestling with people and all that kind of stuff. That's awesome. Like that slow pulling and all that, but that high intensity, ready go kind of stuff, that's where injuries happen.
Yeah.
And I would hate for his arm wrestling career to get shut down right away from an injury like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it can happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And Eddie Hall, I mean, I feel like Eddie Hall's going to get destroyed, and it's just going to be kind of stupid.
That's our thought as well.
Yeah, that's where we're at too.
Exposure-wise, incredible, right? Really?
Yeah, exposure for the community, like everybody, yes.
Super.
Everybody wants to see Brian and Eddie do stupid crap.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all we want.
But I don't know if that's gonna if all those people that come to watch that, if they're gonna stay. I'm sure some will, but
Well, and that's the thing too. It's like it almost does kind of it like matters how well that event does. How how if it's just riddled with elbow fouls like some East versus West King of the Tables can be, or if it's a smooth match that's run well by Engen, that would be incredible. But it's also that is the thing. It's like people are stoked on Brian being in the scene, but what does this match tell us? Absolutely fucking nothing.
No,
I agree completely.
It doesn't tell us how strong Brian actually is.
We have no idea.
Anything.
No idea.
No.
So I mean, he could have just pulled, like you said, any super heavyweight, give him the lowest ranked super heavyweight, at that weight class. It'd still be a great standard to what the heck he
give
could
him
even
someone
bring.
that knows what they're doing. This is my argument about all of the cards that Auden Larrett has pulled. Like all of the people he's pulled. Like put him up against a polar. Like don't put him up against a bodybuilder or some guy who's coming to the sport.
Let him pull Matt Mask right now.
Yeah, right.
Auden Larrett versus Matt Mask right frickin' now, and we'll see what's.
I don't think that would be possible.
No, probably not.
I would want Auden Larrett versus RVJ.
Yes, that is weight class wise. It's literally a perfect matchup. But that's the thing. It's like,
and I think RVJ would absolutely destroy him, but I would just like to see what would happen. And honestly, I want to see Auden lose.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Well, we've danced around saying that for a long time, but we're just at the same spot where we're like, we need him to actually go up against someone who can pull.
You can be Devin's son, right? You can be Devin's son, but you don't
try to be Devin.
Thank you. At the very least, wait 30 years and then become Devin. Okay, we don't
join the Canadian Special Forces. Get shot.
You're just have some sort of trauma. Yeah. I mean, his father's Devin. Maybe there's a little bit there, but it's like other than that, he just has nothing. His career on the table.
His own.
Yeah, he doesn't have a legacy on the table. He doesn't. You can't talk shit when you're just Devin's son. You just can't. And you're wrestling nobodies.
We also just we don't know.
It's like
we don't know what he can.
It's like the Brian Shaw thing. It's like I don't put him against Ha Young Ja from North Korea. He's the Korean Hulk. Okay, so he flashes Rolexes on Instagram. He doesn't tell me how good Auden is at arm wrestling. It says nothing.
Nobody's seen him pull ever.
No.
Like.
And yet he's pulling on one of the biggest stages in arm wrestling that exists.
Well, and it's fine. He's pulling with the Ottawa High Hookers. He's in a great club. He's gonna be an incredible arm wrestler. We all know this. But give him somebody who arm wrestles.
Yeah. And I mean
a lot of people have been calling him out, like around the United States.
I bet.
And he has been ghosting all of them,
I'm
like
sure.
not saying, not responding, not nothing.
Right.
Because what's Auden pull out? What's Auden weigh?
10.
10.
Nothing above 105. I guess he's kind of chunky, maybe 105. But
he's like a taller kid too. But still.
Well, and then I mean, there's always matches on some cards where we're like, why are we even watching this? Like when Devin pulled Leonidas or some stupid shit like that. But this is like, and like some of that's like whatever. It's a card. It gets somebody famous on the card. We're gonna watch it because we want to see him anyway. But it's just sort of annoying because we don't actually know.
Ben hates Leonidas Arcona, and that's
I don't
okay.
hate Leonidas.
That's okay. We don't really like the guy. Okay,
I just like
he's an incredible physique. Okay.
Yeah, which is not arm wrestling.
That's all he's got. He beats Schoolboy, and then we're like, you know who he wants. He gets Devin Larratt. That's who we give Leonidas because he beat Schoolboy. You're like, just none of the trajectories for any of these newer guys that are showing up in stuff makes any goddamn sense. I just don't understand.
Well, you'd have to try to get in the head of Engen. And
nobody
be honest,
can get in
nobody
there. He's the enigma of rage. He's just pissed off 24/7. So it's like, and that's why the whole Devin Artem Morozov thing was insanity. He's like, Engen was like, he was like freaking out on Devin, and Devin's like, "What? What am I doing?" You're like, "What the fuck do you mean? What are you doing? You will not let go of Morozov. You're latched on like a pit bull." It was psychotic.
Well, Coach, and I think Coach Ray said it best, and he just said Devin is in his villain era. Like he's decided to apparently be the villain.
I know, and Travis
Page.
Yeah,
he went from Superman to Wolverine, and now he's the Joker.
Yes, he is.
It's his progression.
I want to know what Travis Page just looking from the side, like, Jesus Christ, relax.
Oh yeah,
like when Travis is probably thinking that, you're like, Jesus, come on, guy.
If Bajan is telling you to chill out, something's going on.
Thank God Michael Todd was up there to save the whole world. He's like, chill out, Devin. Chill out.
Yeah.
Do you like Michael Todd? We love Michael Todd here. He's also going.
He's great.
He's the best. He's also going through his holy arc right now. So he's like he's been saved, and so he's back in it, which is fine.
He is but a vessel.
Yeah. I don't watch those last 2 minutes of every one of his matches.
It's a lot.
Turn it off.
It's honestly a whirlwind. I get sweatier during those last 2 minutes than I am the whole goddamn match. It's like I literally cannot handle listening to this. It's like it is like it's a sermon. You're like, and he kept like doubling down. He's like, no, I know you don't think it's him, but it's so him that it's not me at all. And you're like, okay, man, I freaking get it, dude.
Yeah, like Paul Lynn can do it, but tones it down a little bit.
Dude. Paul Lynn.
Oh yeah, he's quick. He's quick about it.
Yes. Like he wears the bracelet. We know about his faith. He's the man. He doesn't have to bring it up. It's not the whole interview. What? You'll like bring up some technical stuff, and Michael's like, yeah. But Jesus and pronation, and you're like, no, Mike, no, this is not where we're supposed to be going. But here we are. But if you're that tenured of a puller, maybe you just have to. Maybe you have to find Jesus.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe that's what it takes. Obviously, as we know, you just have to work on vehicles or drive truck to be a puller. That's why you're living out the dream, Brett. You are a diesel mechanic, just like Sylvester Stallone and Over the Top. You'd be pulling. Did you ever drive truck at all, Brett?
Not professionally, no.
Maybe that's professional. Maybe that's your arc. He's gonna be when you become a real champion.
No.
Then you win the semi, and then you just drive around the nation in a convoy.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
That's a good move. Do you have any aspirations like in like the next couple of years for arm wrestling? Like, do you want to pull at specific things? What is your goal within the next like 3 years for arm wrestling?
Next 3 years, I want to be ranked top 5 in the United States. And I want to win nationals for sure. And that's kind of mainly it for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
For the next 5 years, I wanna compete at East versus West. Like
that'd be incredible. Like an
stage.
Yeah. Even those undercards. Those undercards are stacked. I mean, they're so stacked. What's your national rank right now?
Off of
Is there a correct one? Is there like a
I don't know what the correct one is, so I don't really know.
Yeah,
honestly, because I know on that like tournament one, like the airs that was run by Corey Miller, I'm like 14th right arm.
Okay. Yeah, so
that's not super accurate, but
to like up your national rank, do you just have to go to bigger tournaments? Is there specific national tournaments that they coordinate that like play into that more?
Honestly, I don't know. That's why I was trying to call people out. It'd be
that
like,
makes
hey,
sense.
I want to pull you and I want to take your spot.
Yeah, no, literally, that's how it seems like anything gets done. So that makes total sense. Because like, I'm assuming you know like the top 5 guys at super heavyweight in the nation, like just because I'm assuming they've been talked about and have been doing their thing for a while.
I mean, the top 5 guy in the United States. I mean, you got Jerry Caderet, you got Michael Todd, you got Dave Chafee, Chance Shaw, and all those kind of guys.
That's what like with you being so dominant in our local scene, like you want a match like that. You want to face somebody like Chance Shaw. Just see really, where you stack up against the people in the nation. Like that'd be super.
Oh yeah,
exciting.
I'd love to pull chance.
Yeah,
I'd love to pull chance.
that would be fucking
I
exciting.
don't know if it would be close, but
Right.
I would love to try.
It doesn't
At least
matter.
I see where I'm at.
You need that gauge, like to really know where you're at, like to face somebody like that. And yeah, I mean, I guess you just don't know, right? When it comes to tournaments, like, do you hear when a tournament is about to come around? Do you hear about who is going to be there? I assume, like, you're like, I'm going to go here because so and so is here, or
Like a local one or like a bigger one?
like a bigger tournament. Like you're like, do those guys go around to a lot of the local tournaments, or what exactly?
No,
I didn't think so.
those top guys, they don't. They usually just they're on the East versus West or whatever because they were in the WAL and all that kind of stuff. So
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
so that's like those big name guys usually don't go to tournaments.
Yeah.
So I mean, like there's guys on the top 15 in the United States that do, and that's why I was going to go to that Tennessee tournament. But none of them paid in, and none of them said they were going to show up, actually. So I was like, screw it.
Right.
I don't think I'm going to go because there's no guarantee that someone's going to be there, and I'm not going to drive 15 hours for a possibility to not pull anybody from the top 15.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that makes sense. Yeah, no, I mean, if it's been so obviously one-sided over the last, year or so, it's like, what am I need, we need to do something else. I can't just beat the same dudes for, 3 or 4 years in a row.
We'll call up Engen.
Yeah.
We'll be like, hey, bud.
Engen
What are you
seems
doing?
eager. He seems eager to answer stuff. I feel like he probably would. He's replying in the subreddit, I feel like, on arm wrestling. So it's like, this guy, he'll reply anywhere. Have you been
Oh, yeah, he's replied to one of my comments.
Dude, I was going to say, you must be in the dark depths of the subreddit, too. That's where the real rats of the community lie. Have you been on the subreddit, I'm assuming, Brett?
I have not.
Dude, people are angry there. There's angry people in that subreddit.
It's people that don't know. I mean, like, it's the like classic internet.
It is the internet
nonsense
trolls.
of like people that are just out there to ruin other people.
It's always interesting, right? Because those people care about arm wrestling, it seems like, more than almost anybody. But they're such bitches. They're like, all of them are just... They're just crazy
well, because
people.
they probably have that one arm wrestler that they love and they hate everybody else.
No, it is. It is true.
Oh, and they currently hate Devin, so it's okay.
Well,
Well, it's crazy if you watch on East versus West on YouTube, Michael's match, how many people are in his comments just hating on Michael.
Really?
Yeah.
People are pieces of shit.
They
don't care.
He took a lot of flack on his when he came back. And I mean, we've talked about, this is a bit of a tangent, but like when I feel like Michael's one of those guys that gets in his head. I mean, that the Devin Michael match was, I mean, I'd hate to say it, it was over before it started. I mean, he walked in there like a dog with his tail between his legs, and then it was just done.
It's like
and now he's starting to win, and he's just going the other way. Now it's like he puts the first, he gets his first pin, and he's on cloud 9, and everything's fine.
Well,
so
that's the thing, and then people talk more shit than ever, and you're like,
Right.
whatever. You can't win
Well, 'cause
either
everybody's
way.
pissed off. Everybody's pissed off because he's still King's moving, but he's not. His shoulders not under the table.
right.
Yeah.
He's doing an open top roll, which is, yes, it's right on the verge of a King's move.
Mhm.
But if you actually pay attention to his arm, it's not that straight.
Yeah.
I don't
He's
think it
got a
can
lot
anymore.
Yeah.
Well, like you said.
And I mean, he's going a lot more on the offense and all that. So
Yeah.
I think he's doing great.
I'm fine with it.
Exactly. Well, and it's so divisive that, I just saw something literally on their subreddit today. It's like, everybody has no problem when Devin does his King's move. But then Michael does a King's move and everybody's fucking up in arms. And you're like, okay.
Well, and I think like you're pointing out, a lot of people are not really understanding what
is going
a
on.
King's move is and like what it entails.
And that's because of all the new people that are coming to the sport.
Yeah.
They see someone hanging out like that and they're like, what the heck is that?
Right.
Right. It is. Yeah. I mean, the first time you see it, it gets a little wacky, but it's like, no, but you just don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
You try to explain any kind of arm wrestling move to someone who doesn't know arm wrestling, and they're like, what?
Yeah.
Well, that's the
Like
tough.
a flop wrist press.
Yeah.
Or a press at all, or top roll, or anything. They're like, what is that? What makes that?
I know.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So
what the tough
it's
part
all
about
alien to them.
tough part about breaking through to like the general audience is like slowly people who didn't enjoy football slowly understood the technicalities of football. Now you just have to like slowly get people to learn the technicality of arm wrestling instead of just football. We're all there for the hits.
Yeah.
In arm wrestling, we're all there for technically the hits, but there's technical stuff in between, and you just got to be like, no, this is cool for this reason. Please watch.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good way to maybe end on, but I think that it's like the constant fight of like convincing people or making people realize that arm wrestling is a sport and not just like something that goes on in a bar or whatever. And like whether or not the tournament's in a bar is a separate thing, but like just trying to convince people that, you know, this is a thing and bring that to, which is 90% of what we're doing is trying to make people realize that like this is a valuable and an awesome sport.
Yeah.
And
it's far more exciting than you believe or don't believe it to be.
Right.
It's super cool, and I'm really glad you sat down with us, Brett, and just like I said, we just don't pay enough attention to local arm wrestling because it's so hard to get information.
But we're going to now.
We are going to now. Since I started talking about you, Brett, I was like, well, Jesus, this guy is a bad motherfucker, so I'm just gonna follow just because Brett's the man, and I want to. And it's so small, so it's like not that hard to keep track of people. It seems like, and especially.
Well, you guys better come out to a Wisconsin event then.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll keep in touch as well, and just let us know if you're ever down in the lower 48.
We go to the middle of the state.
We can go to the middle of the state also. It's only like an hour and a half.
Well, because the next one coming up is December 7th, I believe.
Okay.
And that one's in Rothschild.
Oh yeah, right outside Point.
Is that outside Stevens Point? Okay, yeah.
Wausau.
And you're pulling at that event.
And I might. I just see what's going on with me at that point of time. I mean, I might just go because my buddy Dustin has a super match with Lee.
Okay.
And I might just go just for fun. Because
Brett, you're a celebrity. Go there and show off. Show off.
Yeah.
No, that rules. Do you have any?
I got to do something.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, do you have an intention to pull? I mean, at a match coming up soon, do you have a super match planned or?
So my next one for sure is at Wisconsin State next year, which is in April.
Okay.
I have a left and a right super match, left-hand super match with the number one left-hand guy in Wisconsin, Steven Metzelakana-Ladera. And we've had matches in the past, and we've been really close. I think I'm going to destroy him. And a right-handed match with Brian Wagner from Illinois. I've never pulled him before. He's a pretty big-looking dude, and he's ranked pretty high in Illinois. So we'll have a right-hand super match with him. And then there's a potential in February at a time, it's called a Time Bomb event in Minnesota. I might pull Trapper Saltzman left hand, or if I can possibly get that Tim Bresnan match set up right hand, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So that's my future thus far. Just keep training, and I want to be the best. My number one goal in my life is I want to be ranked number one in the United States. So,
no, we us over here at the Strong Casuals, we're rooting for you, Brett. We think you can do it, and 100% we're going to try to be at that, at the very least, at the state arm wrestling, because that sounds like the event to be at, and you have some big matches coming up. So we really appreciate you coming on, man.
We'll start training now, and we'll pull it.
I'll literally come pull you with no experience right now, Brett, okay? I don't have much to offer.
Match. Tell me my next practice.
Yes, dude. Thank you so much again, Brett. We really appreciate your time, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. We do appreciate it.
Take care, man.
You too.